All right, everyone, buckle up. It's Monday, September 16th, and you know what that means, right?
Time for another wild ride through the crypto headlines.
You got it. It's a jungle out there, and we're here to be your guides. So let's talk Bitcoin, because let's face it, when Bitcoin sneezes, the rest of the market catches a cold.
It's true, Bitcoin often sets the tone.
And today, well, it seems like Bitcoin's feeling a little under the weather, struggling to stay above that $58,000 mark. CoinGape, ABP Live, they're all over it.
Yeah, I'm seeing those headlines too.
And it's not just Bitcoin, right? Other major coins are feeling the dip too. Coinpedia, Crypto News, everyone's pointing to a market-wide case of the Mondays. So what's the deal? What's driving this slump? Is it just post-weekend blues, or is there something bigger brewing?
You know, it's interesting because a lot of people focus on the internal workings of the crypto market. But we have to remember, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. The global economy plays a huge role.
So you're saying what happens on Wall Street impacts what happens in the crypto sphere?
Absolutely. Right now, we're seeing this wave of uncertainty in global markets. Interest rate hikes are looming. There's this undercurrent of economic anxiety, and that has a ripple effect. Crypto, unfortunately, gets caught in that crosswind.
So it's less about Bitcoin throwing a tantrum and more about the global economy having a bit of a meltdown.
Exactly. And that's something to keep in mind. Crypto is becoming more and more intertwined with traditional finance, which means we're going to see those fluctuations reflected. It's a sign of its growing integration, but it also means we need to be prepared for these ups and downs.
It's like this whole taming the Wild West thing,
Exactly. It's a classic tale of innovation outpacing regulation.
And the regulators are definitely saddling up their horses. We've got U.S. senators taking aim at Bitcoin ATMs.
Oh, really? What's the concern there?
Well, Shib.io and Crypto News both had articles about it. Seems like there are worries about fraud, money laundering, that whole 9 yards.
Yeah, that's always been a concern with Bitcoin ATMs. They offer a level of anonymity that, while appealing to some, can be exploited for illicit activities.
Right, it's that double-edged sword of decentralization. But trying to regulate those ATMs, it feels like trying to catch the wind, doesn't it?
It's definitely a challenge. And it's not just the U.S. either. Regulators around the world are grappling with how to navigate this new landscape.
Speaking of global headaches, did you catch that story about Circle?
The one with North Korea? Yeah, that caught my eye.
It sounds like a spy thriller. Shib.io is saying they're under investigation for handling funds that might be linked to North Korea.
It's a reminder that even in the world of decentralized finance, geopolitics still plays a role. And it raises some really thorny questions about the responsibility of these companies.
Like, how are they supposed to police transactions when the whole point is decentralization?
Right. It's a conundrum. Do they become the gatekeepers, or do they prioritize the very principles of anonymity and open access that define crypto?
Not an easy task. And it's not just the big players feeling the heat. Crypto News mentioned that the CFTC is going after a prediction market called Kalshi.
It seems like regulators are casting a wider net, exploring different corners of the crypto market. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
All right, let's step off the regulatory dance floor for a minute and hit the altcoin arcade. Sounds more fun, right?
Definitely less paperwork.
Way less paperwork. And speaking of fun, Shiba Inu. They're making moves, trying to break free from the meme coin pigeonhole.
They've been working hard to build out their ecosystem. Shib.io is talking about their big brand push at Token 2049 going global.
Trying to show the world they're more than just a cute logo. But what does that actually look like? What are they doing to gain some real-world traction?
Well, they're developing their own decentralized exchange, for one.
So putting the Shiba in Shiba Swap, huh?
Exactly. Plus, they're exploring metaverse opportunities, NFTs, the whole shebang.
It's like they're taking the meme coin playbook and adding chapters. Speaking of adding chapters, Ripple XRP and those 3 magic letters, ETF. Every time I see XRP mentioned, it's followed by a wave of ETF speculation. ABP Live, even just scrolling through my newsfeed this morning, it's everywhere.
Yeah, the possibility of an XRP ETF has definitely been generating a lot of buzz.
So for those of us who don't speak fluent financial jargon, break it down. What is an ETF, and why should we care about one for XRP?
Basically, it would make it much easier for people to invest in XRP. Imagine a basket of XRP stocks all bundled together. That's an ETF, and it would be traded on traditional stock exchanges.
So instead of jumping through hoops to get your hands on XRP, you could just snag some on the stock market.
Exactly. It would open up XRP to a whole new world of investors.
Could probably send the price skyrocketing.
Right. It's possible. But even bigger than that, it would be a huge step towards mainstream acceptance. Seeing XRP traded alongside traditional assets, That's a game changer.
It's like crypto finally getting that invitation to the grown-up table. And speaking of new entries on the scene, Crypto News was talking about a launch of something called Hinkle. Sounds like a delicious pastry.
It does, doesn't it? But it's actually a new Ethereum derivatives protocol.
Okay, so less about indulging your sweet tooth and more about
Indulging your inner crypto enthusiast. It basically lets people make more complex bets on the future price of Ethereum.
so another way to ride the crypto roller coaster, hopefully with a helmet this time.
Yeah.
But hey, at least those U.S. rate cuts have people optimistic about DeFi yields, right? Crypto News was painting a pretty rosy picture.
Lower interest rates can definitely push investors towards riskier assets, and DeFi certainly falls into that category.
More risk, more reward. That's the DeFi motto, isn't it?
It can be tempting, but it's crucial to remember that DeFi is still a very young, very volatile space. Those high yields come with a price.
Always a trade-off. And speaking of risks, that Delta Prime hack was a harsh reminder that security is still a major concern in the DeFi world.
$6 million gone, just like that. It's a stark reminder that even with all the innovation, the DeFi space is still vulnerable.
It's a jungle out there, and unfortunately, not everyone's playing by the rules. Crypto News had that report about Japanese exchanges being targeted by hackers.
And then there are those AI voice cloning scams that Shib.io highlighted.
Talk about scary. I mean, if you can't even trust your own ears anymore, what can you trust?
It's a good reminder to stay vigilant, double-check those URLs, be wary of unsolicited messages.
Trust your gut. Do your research. And maybe invest in a good cybersecurity software while you're at it.
Not a bad idea.
Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to power down our crypto consoles for the day.
Until next time.
It's been a wild ride, as always. But hey, that's the crypto world for you. Never a dull moment. Thanks for joining us on this roller coaster of a deep dive. Until next time, stay informed, stay curious, and most importantly, stay safe out there in the digital Wild West.
Thank you once again for being part of our ever-growing On-Chain News Network community. Until next time, keep exploring the future of finance and stay curious. We'll see you in our next video.